The text came while I was standing in the baking aisle, comparing two identical boxes of cake mix because it felt important to choose the right one. My phone buzzed, and I read it once, then again, as if tone might change between readings. "We'll miss your son's birthday. Things are tight right now." I typed "that's okay" without stopping the cart. Not because it was okay, not because an easier than asking questions I already knew the answers to, because I'd learned that if I didn't ask, they didn't have to explain. At home, my son watched me tape streamers to the doorway. He didn't hover. He's not that kind of kid. He helps quietly, hands me things before I ask, reads my face the way children do when they've learned that adults carry weather inside them. "Is Grandma coming?" he asked. "Not this time," I said. "But we're still gonna have cake." He nodded, satisfied with the certainty of cake. The morning of his birthday, I woke early. Not from excitement, more from habit. I made pancakes, shaped like imperfect circles, and let him drown them in syrup. He wore the shirt his grandmother had sent months ago, the one with the cartoon astronaut. I noticed this and felt something tighten, then loosen, like a muscle learning a new position. After breakfast, I opened my phone to check the time. That's when the post appeared. A bright photo. My mother smiling, arms around two other grandchildren, balloons everywhere. A banner in the background. "Best day ever celebrating with the grandkids." I didn't scroll. I didn't like the post. I didn't even blink. I just felt that familiar heat behind my eyes, the one that never quite becomes tears because it learned long ago that tears didn't change outcomes. My son climbed onto the couch beside me and leaned his head against my arm. He looked at the screen, then at me. "Why not me?" he asked. He didn't sound angry. Or sad. He sounded confused. As if there had been a rule he'd followed correctly, yet still failed some invisible test. I put the phone down. I opened my mouth. Nothing useful came out. In that silence, something rearranged itself inside me. Not rage. Not vengeance. Recognition. I remembered the tight excuses layered over the years. How they never seemed to apply when other birthdays came up. How money was always scarce right up until it wasn't. How I'd cover gaps without being asked, school fees, phone bills, little emergencies that were always framed as temporary. I told myself it was support. Family helping family. But standing there, with my son waiting for an answer I couldn't give without lying, I saw it differently. I saw how often I'd paid to keep the peace, how silence had been the real transaction. That afternoon, while my son played with his gifts, I logged into the accounts I managed. The ones in my name. The ones that funded the tight periods. Automatic transfers. Shared access. Safety nets I'd built quietly, believing they held us all. I didn't delete anything. I didn't send messages. I simply paused what could be paused and be frozen. Not in anger. In clarity. The systems responded immediately. Notifications. Confirmations. Neutral language. No emotion. I cooked dinner. We ate cake again because birthdays should be excessive in at least one direction. My son laughed when the candle leaned too far and dripped wax onto the frosting. That night, I slept deeply. By morning, my phone had 13 missed calls. Then 20. I didn't listen to the messages yet. I made coffee, walked my son to school. At 8:47 a.m., my doorbell rang, hard. Repeated. Not the sound of someone checking if you're home, the sound of someone demanding you be. By 9:00, my father was outside, furious, pacing, voice raised enough that I knew the neighbors could hear. Authority, performed loudly. As if volume could reverse a system, I didn't open the door. I watched from the window as he gestured at his phone, then at the house, then at the street, as though someone else might be keeping score. Eventually, another presence arrived. Not dramatic, not confrontational, procedural, calm voices, hands at rest. The kind of authority that doesn't need to shout. I opened the door then. Just enough to speak. I said very little. Confirmed facts. Answered questions. Let processes do what they were designed to do. My father's anger deflated into disbelief. Then into something closer to panic. I saw it clearly, and that surprised me, not because I enjoyed it, but because I'd never been allowed to see it before. When it was over, the street returned to normal. Cars passed. Someone's dog barked. Life moved on, indifferent. I listened to the voicemails later. My mother crying. My father furious again, then bargaining. Then both of them, softer, confused, asking how this had happened. I didn't respond. That evening, my son told me his favorite part of the day had been when the candle fell over. Because it didn't ruin anything. he said. We just fixed it. I sat with that long after he went to bed. I don't know what happens next. I know some relationships collapse not with explosions, but with quiet structural failures. I know I will carry guilt alongside certainty for a long time. But my son no longer asks why not him. And that feels like something I should have done sooner.